What are the choices we face? And what are the consequences that will follow? We have all become familiar with the dystopian vision of our future, increasingly polluted and hard to access resources of every type, rising sea levels and increasingly lifeless, acidified oceans, a warming climate derived from atmospheric carbon, desertification and topsoil erosion, increasing migration and famine and pandemics, significant reductions in biodiversity, more tribalized conflicts and wars over fewer and fewer resources. We've learned that continuing with our current ways will not solve these issues. We've learned that the time to act is getting short. If we don't cut our carbon emissions significantly by mid-century, there is a good chance we will have crossed a threshold of environmental change that will be unstoppable, regardless of what we do. And we've learned about the scale of the change needed. According to the experts, in the next 30 years, we will need to change how we do almost everything. The biggest and fastest change in human history. We'll have to change our transportation system, our agriculture system, our manufacturing system, and the very structure of the economy itself. For the first time in human history, we will have to de-link economic growth from the pollution and other externalities caused by it. Can we reinvent whole sectors of the economy so that they fit within 21st century parameters? Not just for some sectors of the economy, but for all of them, and not just here, but everywhere, and do it all in just 30 years? There is another, more utopian vision of our future as well. In this view, we're on the doorstep of a new renaissance, driven by plentiful, cheap, emissions-free renewable energy, new sustainable farming practices and products, new materials like graphene and perovskite with superconductive and other magical properties that promise increased product efficiencies, improved health through genomics and other biological sciences, huge cost savings derived from social network product sharing, a world in which more products reach a point of zero marginal cost, rendering them all but free in the marketplace, and a revolution in the nature of work itself, as artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, and nanotech change the relationship between production and the amount of human participation required to produce it. A world that is sustainable, prosperous, socially just, and relieves people from the burdens of laborious work, giving them the opportunity to pursue more meaningful tasks. It's clearly the end of an era in the human drama and the beginning of another. But how that pending future is characterized is as yet undetermined. But we do know one thing. That future will be selected by those of us alive today and over the next 30 years. So what are the critical choices and differences that will determine how our future is characterized? Humanity is the sole location where forethought and reason and creativity reside. Those unique human qualities have ensured our dominance of this planet, but they're not enough to guarantee our survival. For that, we will need to evolve a new collective interdependent expression of ourselves. An expression of ourselves not available to us as a matter of involuntary inheritance, but rather is only accessible as a matter of will. But we should not cower at the challenge, because we have been building towards this moment for a very long time, and we are prepared for it. The human drama reveals that we are a courageous and adventurous species on an epic collective journey. We crossed uncharted mountains and deserts and seas in small boats, and we did so with uncertain rewards and at great personal risks. because it is in our nature to do so. When Copernicus and Galileo and thousands more like them studied and taught about the natural world, they did so at great personal risks, because it is in our nature to do so. When this country's founding fathers pursued a democratic republic, they did so at great personal risks, because it is in our nature to do so. When racial minorities fight for liberation and inclusion, or when immigrants and refugees do so, or when women do so, or when sexual minorities do so, these struggles for justice are done at great personal risks, because it is in our nature to do so. When we focus our attention on reaching the moon, or curing diseases, or when we fight to defend our ideals and liberties in wars, or when we write literature, or produce art, or strive to build or invent, we accept unknown risks and rewards, because it is in our nature to do so. On the surface, accepting great individual risks with little or uncertain prospects of reward seems like a bad evolutionary strategy. Except that isn't what's going on. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Because people also accept great personal risks for the sake of the ongoing human enterprise as well. Because it's in our nature to do so. These acts of courage, done for love of self, love of family, love of adventure, love of life, and love of humanity. And these qualities live on in us today, in both ordinary and exceptional ways. When a person starts a business and invests his life savings, it takes courage and is an act of love and a leap of faith. When a young person takes on a mountain of debt to get an education, it takes courage and is an act of love and a leap of faith. When we have children and attempt to raise them in an uncertain world, it takes courage and is an act of love and a leap of faith. The courage to risk, the courage to love, the courage to seek adventure, and the courage to imagine a better way and step forward and make the vision real. These are the central tenets of the human enterprise. But today, we face a new challenge and urgent choice. To learn to live together interdependently and cooperatively, or die separately. There will be no salvation in isolation, no scientific breakthrough that can save us, no amount of money or weaponry or border fortifications that can shield us. Caring about the others is the only way to sustainability and social justice. We are not just individuals. We are also the only part of the ongoing human chain that can act to meet the challenges of our time. And with that opportunity comes both responsibility and tremendous benefits, both personal and for society as a whole. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Turns out, it's more than a simple moral platitude. It's a survival instruction and a roadmap out of the chaos to a successful future. This is Gene Tierney with Beloved Community Action. You know, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. famously dreamt of a society he called the beloved community that is inclusive, equitable, sustainable, and prosperous. Despite news-generated feelings of hopelessness and chaos, a more cooperative, interdependent humanity is possible, is necessary to solve many of our most pressing problems, and is beginning to unfold right in front of us today, presenting countless opportunities for individuals and organizations of every type. Please join us on this journey of discovery and change. Subscribe and like our videos, and go to our website, www.belovedcommunityaction.org. Explore our informational materials and consider becoming a member. Thank you.